He likes these weird mic checks. Okay, let's go. Welcome back, little hair bump. Let's just get this right out of the gate. No, this is not the video I was talking about in the last video, or the sneak peeks that I posted on Instagram. That one is taking a lot longer. Who would have guessed it?
Alright, campers, I heard from an anonymous source that someone has ties to the Chinese government.
Filling a fridge with a bunch of food. And me being extra. Yeah. Who would have guessed it's taking so much longer, and procrastination. Anyway, I still wanted to get a video out, and opportunity just happened to stumble upon me. Now, I don't really share a lot about myself on this, other than I like dolls and art and stuff. But I also love watching challenges. They're like $20 challenge, what can I do with this costume? And just other things. And like doll challenges, like I have a certain amount of time, a certain amount of money on that. I always wanted to do one, I just never had like the motivation to do it. But a perfect opportunity arose. I volunteered to walk in my work's Christmas parade. And the theme was elf, because we were Santa's elves, rockin' little elves. Ho, 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 ho. We are Santa's elves. We are Santa's elves. Santa's elves. And I needed an elf costume. I had a bunch of elf costumes. I got rid of them. I was like, I'm done volunteering. I'm not going to do this anymore. Because I used to do it through the haunted house. I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I got rid of them. Turns out I need one. And I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on it. I already looked at a few things from Walmart. They really didn't have like the elf dresses and like the long dresses that they used to back like however many years ago. So I wasn't really a fan of what they have now. So I was like, I think this is going to be a perfect challenge video. I don't want to spend a lot of money on this. And I have a limited amount of time to do it. Perfect challenge video. So I ended up having roughly 2 days, not including the days I worked before I had to do this. So I gave myself a limit of $20 and 2 days to do it. My sewing machine is still down, sadly, so everything is hand sewn. But getting onto that, let's do it! I don't have any reference photos about this. The only criteria for me was it's going to be cold. We are walking in cold weather, so the little skimpy dresses that you usually find for elf costumes, especially female, because I am female, I'm a plus size female, I got thick stuff. I prefer the cold, as it's December, I'm in a tank top and shorts. I like the cold, but I don't like wearing skimpy clothing. So it had to be warm and covered all the bits. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. So I pulled up some Pinterest references. It's very hard, and I ended up going not in the Pinterest direction at all. I'll still link it in the comments. Well, my boyfriend will. I'll send it to him. Just to kind of see like the inspiration I was going for. I was going for more of like the magical ones, like in the Santa Claus movies, where they looked like they actually lived in the North Pole, so like a bit of fur, not more like the elf, where it's just like a skirt and some tights. Hang on, we got a text. Text, what's the text say? Food! Okay, food break. Haha! I'm that girl likes food. Haha! Okay, be right back. Back from food. Continuation. I ended up going to the Goodwill outlet quite a few times for this because I know you just have to be lucky there, and their prices are the only things secondhand wise and shopping wise that I could realistically do with this $20 challenge. Everything around me unfortunately is just too expensive. The only new thing I got, I'll put up here, is with this base outfit. I ended up finding a green top. The fuzzy sweatpants are the only things I end up buying new, because being a plus size person, it is very unlikely for me to find something at the bins or Goodwill in general. I very much lucked out with the top. I never find stuff, so I immediately grabbed it. The pants I knew I can switch out, and I do plan on switching those out at a later date, probably when the stuff goes on sale. But I did end up paying full price for those, and that was about $10. So half the budget did go to the pants. Don't get mad. I know my little trash panda heart is like, you literally bought something new and you're only gonna wear it once. It barely fit me, and I really needed them. And two, I have a boyfriend who doesn't have any sweatpants, and they do fit him, and he is insanely cold. I keep this bedroom very chilly. Both windows are open. I limit it down because usually all 6 of them are open. But they will be put to use. They aren't going immediately into the landfill, which is something I don't like doing. Usually if I try to get something, I try to get it multiple times. But I will say, for this piece, the sweatpants are not going to go into my daily wardrobe like the green shirt is, because it does fit me, and I needed a new work shirt because my shirt, just one of my favorite shirts, decided to have a bunch of mysterious stains on it. So I needed a new work shirt for cold weather. So that will be cycled into my normal outfits, and then the green sweatpants will be going to my boyfriend's and just his like loungewear outfits or his sleepwear lounge. So nothing is wasted. I didn't just buy it just for this costume. Don't worry, it's actually going to get used. I don't like to harp on that, but everything I do use in my videos, or whether it's dolls or anything like that, and why I'm very much a trash panda, I don't like adding to waste. So everything I try to do, I try to always keep it or make something out of it, so I'm wasting as little as possible. And that'll be brought up later in this video as well, because I didn't end up using all of the materials I got for this project, but I'm gonna actually keep them and go back to this costume probably next year, or whenever I get some downtime to actually add to it. But the main part is the challenge. I knew I wanted to keep the pants and the green shirt not Christmassy, so I'm gonna add nothing to what I found in the one video. I was just explaining everything I found. I'm not going to put anything onto that green shirt. That is specifically just going to be a base layer. I've learned with costumes, the more details you can add and the more layering, the better. And that is also just a layer, because I do know that is going to be cold, so we do need to be warm. I found the red thing. I'm going to make a jacket, and we're just going to go elf crazy on the jacket. So I have this picture, and I'll explain it because I didn't video it because it's kind of a meh. Yes, it is a Hell of a Boss one. I'm a big Hell of a Boss fan. Right here, art. I also have a bunch of autographs that I've not hung up yet. Whatever. I love Hell of a Boss. But the jacket is based on this shirt, and it can be any shirt if you are, for whatever reason, wanted to make one. It just can't stretch a whole lot. Stretchy fabric will kind of shrink and stretch as well. This one needs to fit you without stretching. And what you're going to do is lay it down and just kind of basically trace it around. I like to do the sleeves kind of like this. So you're going to flip the sleeve in and just go along the seam if you want to do it. Tank tops are also very good. This one just happened to be in the living room. And for this jacket specifically, I knew I wanted it to be more of like a winter one, so I doubled the shirt length. And that's why that shirt is not at the very bottom. I got lucked out. Another reason people really I like using secondhand fabric like sheets for base layers is that you don't have to hem them. Hemming stuff saves you time, and you will also get the same look as well, and it's just as nice. So that's why I have the hem side down, and it just saves me a bit more time, especially since my sewing machine is out of commission. Okay, we are back from the thrift store with with Pile of Goodies. We're gonna go over what I got because I didn't take you in with me. You saw the base and kind of what I'm going for. I am over about $2, but I found this nice little Santa hat. So I think, because I found this guy, I'm going to return the stocking I got, and that should put us at exactly where we need to be. So Santa hat is going to be made into hand gloves because I really wanted some hand gloves and I think that would be good. Now the theme was green and I tried really hard. I'm going through stuff. No. You have a whole other ottoman, Chloe. I don't feel bad. So Big Red Wing is going to be the base of that. I found this guy, which I thought was just fun little for like maybe a ruffle or somewhere. I think I want to do ruffles around the collar or for the collar to give it some interesting things. So I think that'll be good for that. And we have another different red. Do a little pop. I found this guy, which is just like a sparkle belt. I thought I might use him somewhere else. I'm not sure where exactly for what yet, but he is a bit too small for my waist. So I'm not sure what I'll do with him yet, but I thought he would be a nice accessory. Sparkle, sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Now I got this because it's very long and it has trim that I thought looked like candy canes. So we're gonna end up taking the trim off of that, and that'll be our good trim, which I was very excited about because I did not see any and I did not have any. This is very long and I think the trim will be good for that. This Chloe's too. This is just a piece of fur that I thought would match really nice to add on the collar as like a barrier from all the other scratchy fabrics. So this would actually be touching my skin. So that's why I got him, because I thought he would look good. And then I found this guy. He's actually a table runner, however. He's got lots of details on him that I can steal to decorate with. And that'll save me a bunch of time with appliques and stuff like that. I don't really know where I'm going to put him yet, or if I'm going to use this dark green or anything, but I am very happy that I found him, because there's not a lot of stuff that has like applique things like this. So I only found this and then a nutcracker, which is still air drying, so I'll have to hunt him down. I also found this blanket. This is going to be the lining for the jacket. We were told it's going to be very cold and whatever it needs to be warm. So a lot of the fantasy stuff that I've looked at is very skimpy and is not very practical. So this is kind of my way around that and just giving a nice thing. So I'm just going to use this as is. I'm not going to take the black off, so just to give another layer to it. But this will be the inside and the black will kind of be sandwiched in between the red and this, which I think will also help as another lining. One more. I got this guy, which I found, which I think was a very good find. It's just like a bunch of little applique things. It's just a little child's dress, which I think will be good because I can take the belt off, maybe for like a necklace, use the buttons for something. Yeah. It has all this other fabric for maybe like the ruffle around the neck, but I think it's gonna be good, and we'll just see. So that is everything I got. I'm gonna start taking things apart, and that's gonna be pretty boring because it's just a bunch of seam ripping, and I'll be back when we start cutting some stuff out. Got anything to say? In my video, I explained I ended up getting a blanket to do this. Addie stole it. Refused to get off of it at all. So had to quickly change things. I just happened to have this fur fabric. It was about the same price because it is less weight than that blanket. So I'm still counting that as kind of the same weight. It wasn't very expensive. So it's kind of like a 1-for-1, if not maybe just a bit more cheaper. Thankfully, it actually worked out very well, and that took me a whole day of sewing. 8 to 12 hours just sewing the fur lining onto the red fashion fabric. It was very boring. It's not something I really wanted to show you because it was boring. It's just a regular garment of just like a sleeve where it was attached the 2 sleeves, flip it, and then make a whole other one and sew those together, flip it inside out, doing that. I do it on a doll scale very often, just when I do shirts, so I didn't feel like recording it and doing that since I do a lot of sewing and I record a lot of sewing. It just feels very repetitive for me to go about that, and it was very boring. It was just the same red fluffy stuff all over, but that took the most amount of time. But this was a very important part of the garment because warm was going to be the name of the game. I didn't want to freeze. I wanted this to last. I did not want to make it again. And once I did that, I finally was able to do the sleeves. The sleeves ended up being a combination of 2 different items. I thought that would really aid in like the whimsical, magical kind of thing. What I didn't show you is that Addie knocked off the pair of little pants that I wanted to use. They had green ruffles that I'm still planning on using those for the gloves. I didn't make the gloves because I ran out of time, but everything will be used. But that's where that green stretchy thing came from, is those little toddler britches. Perfect sleeve ruffles for fat chubby. Yeah, 1 toddler pant, arm sleeve. Perfect, lucked out with that. And then the other one was also like the tutu thing. It's kind of a self-explanatory. I measured it, sewed it on. I stole the buttons, but it's fine. And the important thing is that the elastic, I wanted these to be poofy. I think it's okay, but you will see me and my boyfriend hold that brown strap tight for one of them, and that's just what we were doing. The way to sew elastic anything on is to stretch it as far as you need it to go and then sew it, or else if you sew it shrunk, it's not going to be able to stretch. So you wanted to sew it stretched and then shrink it down. It ended up working. It was pretty good. Okay, and I think that's the last footage I had because it was literally so late, and my iPad had died, my phone had died, and I had been sewing for about 10 hours straight at that point. A big thank you to my dad, who also helped up and sewed the nutcracker on a Starbucks apron that my boyfriend had. I've used Starbucks aprons in the past for an elf costume and I got rid of it. Big mistake. They are very good for an elf outfit, I would argue. Do not go rob someone, but if you find one secondhand and you are wanting to do an elf one, I recommend it. They have pockets so you can stuff toys in, anything in, candy to hand out, and then the logo is not very big and it's not very like in your face, and that's easily covered with like an applique or something like that. So would recommend that if you are wanting to do like an elf thing, and this is good for like a Renaissance fair. Mine's hung up over here with my other Renaissance gear. I probably will bring it out again if we do anything else Christmassy. And then on the back of this one, I ended up putting one of the Santas on the back, and that's literally, I ran out of time. That was 11 the night before the parade. I literally ran out of time. Final thoughts, I actually think I was pretty proud of this. I wish my sewing machine was working, because then I could add more detail to it. But I think for the time challenge, we nailed it. We did it. We got, with Dad's help, big thank you to Dad. We'll stick a picture up here and saying thank you. Woo! But Nutcracker, I would have somehow done. I would have just stayed up later. And that was very simple. I do want to go add more to that later. Like the pockets, I want to add, I think, the holly fabric to that, and maybe the red sequins at the top. Other than that, I think that's all I want to add to that. I want to add more presents to the back of the jacket. I will say, if you're looking for stuff at like thrift stores, the more, not chaotic, but the more busy a costume is, the more it looks like you have time to do it in. So like for me, like the little Nutcracker, the Santa, all like the little applique things that I had, they were all very different textures. They were all very already put together. So it looks like you put that into it, but really you just stole it off of something else and put it on your stuff. And that saves it from a landfill, which again, we always try to do that. I don't like to say anything about that, but using what we have is good on before just doing landfill stuff. But yeah, and that's just my first little time challenge. I'm very happy with how it is. Again, I wish I could have gone and added more detail to it, but the structure of the garment is also very important too. So would I have done anything different? I probably wouldn't have procrastinated so much. A little bit, just to maybe get a few more details on there, like a few presents, but I don't think there was going to be much more I could do. My hands, because everything had to be hand done, just hurt so badly. They still hurt a little bit, but I have to power on and get the next video done because I really want to, and I'm excited for this video. More or less. Anyway, we're not talking about that yet. We achieved it in a bit over $20. I didn't end up returning the stocking, but I didn't end up using everything. So a little over budget at $22 and some change was done. I don't remember the exact thing. I've slept since then, sorry. But we pretty much made it on budget if I didn't use that thing and I took it back. So that's good. I was so warm. I actually was sweating. I layered things too much. The fur insulation really did help on this. So while everyone else was freezing, I was absolutely sweating. I layered shorts and a tank top underneath everything. I wore that home and my back was so sweating. So we achieved the 2 goals that we needed to do. So that is a win on that. And I am saving everything else. I'm not getting rid of it. It's all in a bag. It's sitting with the stuff so I can go back and do that. I might do like a part 2 on this where I'm going in and just finishing all those smaller details, but it's probably going to be a while, maybe still in this. It'll probably be a get things done with me video, but not for a while because my hands really hurt. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and enjoy some of the Christmas parades because they're just so magical and I love them. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.